Sangeet Krishna and Alvina are present. Sangeet Krishna, Shika Joshi, Suman Grigori, and Pratibha. Pratibha is also there. Sana Mishra, Potnuru Yashashwini. Sorry. Jeris Albert. Jeris Albert. Will you come? Aparna Sar. Good morning, esteemed guests and participants. Welcome to today's international conference held in Department of Psychology, Bangalore University. It is an immense pleasure to introduce the facilitator, Dr. Manjunath Sir, Assistant Professor, Karnataka State Open University. Sir has guided many PhD scholars and presented various papers in national and international conferences. Welcome, sir. Beginning with the presentation, now I call upon Shriya Pakna from Christ University to present the paper.
Session goes with 5 plus 2 minutes. Rope everyone and everyone.
A very good morning to everyone. I'm Shriya Pakna and I'm going to be presenting my paper on unmasking the workplace imposter, AI's power in transforming imposter syndrome. Can you go to the next slide, please? Okay. So the paper is divided into two main aspects, which is imposter syndrome and AI in mental health care. So to begin with, let's understand what imposter syndrome actually is. It's a feeling that an individual gets when they're at a certain level or a position of a feeling like a fraud, or feeling like they deserve that position only because of luck or fate and not because of their actual successes, skills and capabilities. It's the sense that one is not as worthy as Coming to AI in the workplace, AI is artificial intelligence and it seeks to enhance cognitive capabilities to carry out duties that are performed by humans. All of us, I think most of us, is used in nearly every industry, including infrastructure, finance, healthcare. Moving on to the literature review, there are three main aspects of the literature review. One being workplace imposter syndrome, two victims of imposter syndrome, and three AI in mental health care. So talking about workplace imposter syndrome, a study found that a higher occurrence of imposter syndrome is seen in workers, workplace employees, and managers. According to another study, around 4 to 10% of American workers have high levels of imposter syndrome, which negatively impacts their success in their work, mental health, and job satisfaction. By this, we can see that imposter syndrome actually affects work productivity. Next, victims of imposter syndrome. Before talking about that, I'd like to say that the first people to term the concept of imposter phenomenon were Clance and Imes in their study, and they conducted it on women, and they found that imposter syndrome is only found in women. But after a lot of other studies that were published on this phenomenon, it was found that it's not just found in women, but also in students and healthcare professionals, employees in workplace, and individuals belonging to minority groups. Lastly, AI in mental health care. So the traditional methods of diagnosing and assessing mental health issues are frequently hampered by issues of accessibility, affordability, and stigma. So to combat all these issues, AI can be one of the solutions to help people access mental health care easily. Moving to methodology. So this paper employs a systematic review to understand the role of artificial intelligence in managing the imposter syndrome that's faced by employees in a workplace setting. There are two research questions that the study aims to answer. what is the role of AI in enhancing mental health, and how can AI be utilized to manage imposter syndrome in the workplace. Next slide, please. And the two research objectives that it addresses are to explore the current role of AI in mental health support, particularly in addressing workplace challenges, and to investigate how AI can effectively manage and mitigate the effects of imposter syndrome in the workplace. Moving on to the discussion. There are 6 main points in the discussion, which means that there are 6 ways in which AI can actually help manage symptoms of imposter syndrome. So first is AI can use data analysis, which is one of its very strong points, to provide personalized feedbacks to employees on performances, which is based on their achievements or successes at work. AI-powered platforms, they provide personalized insights that help employees recognize their own abilities and overcome self-doubt. Second, AI can examine behavioral data like lower engagement or productivity to identify signs of imposter syndrome. This allows organizations to offer early support and foster a culture of mental health awareness. So to identify early signals or early signs of any symptoms of imposter syndrome, this method would be really helpful. Third, workplace wellness programs can integrate AI-powered therapies like cognitive behavioral therapy to employees in order to reframe their negative thoughts. So these tools offer early access to mental health support, providing timely assistance in moments of self-doubt. Next slide, please. Coming to the fourth point, AI can facilitate online peer support networks connecting workers from the same organization or different organizations who are facing the similar challenges of imposter syndrome to foster openness and mutual support, normalizing feelings of inadequacy. The fifth point, AI can create targeted training on imposter syndrome by analyzing data to identify which departments have the highest level or more level. Sorry. Yeah, so the discussion, yeah, all these 6 points are my major points.
Any questions from participants? Findings?
So my findings, this was a systematic review paper, and my discussion entails most of my findings, which are 6 different ways in which AI can actually help find out signals of imposter syndrome. So all the 5 points that I mentioned until now and the 6th point mentioned on the screen are basically my findings.
But your paper is only theoretical review paper.
Yeah, it's a review paper, systematic review paper.
Systematic review paper. But your hypothesis and the objectives, one hypothesis states that so enhancing of the something.
So on.
Hypothesis.
My research objective.
Then hypothesis.
These are the questions. Yeah, the first one.
Okay. So what is the role of artificial intelligence in enhancing mental health?
Yeah.
Okay. So enhancing, either enhancing impact or effects. So these are all come under the experimental research design.
Okay.
Okay. So your observation, enhancing AI, enhancing the mental health. So you examine the artificial intelligence enhancing the mental health through your experimental research design. Otherwise, only in your research questions using the terminology, either examine the AI enhancing the mental health or assessment to assess. Okay, enhancing, it is related to the experimental research design.
Alright, so sorry, that's my
Okay. And again, same based on the research questions, using the terminology objective. Okay. So that's why in future, paper today, we will carefully using the terminology.
yes, sorry. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone.
Thank you. And now I call upon Pallavi Devi and Gayatri Sawan.
Largely. So our objective is to explore the mental health challenges among studying individuals in workplace, and we aim to create awareness about PWS in workplace to ensure a supportive work environment and inclusive policies. Our research design is qualitative, where we use focus group discussion for data collection. So our sample size were like 25 participants who have like different levels of stammering from various working backgrounds, and sampling technique used was purposive sampling technique. Now tools we used was self-constructed structured interview, which consists majorly of open. For screening, we used a rating scale basically to understand the where participants thinks they stand in terms of their stammering level, and then we chose participants who rated themselves from moderate to severe level, and discussion and semi-structured interview was used. They were briefed on the aim of the group discussion, and also we obtained the permission and recording for the recording. So data analysis was done through thematic analysis. These are the themes which could be found. It was fear, anxiety and worry, isolation, low self-esteem, avoidance, awareness about PWS, workplace discrimination, and support systems.
So the major results of are difficult. Then they would experience daily fear, anxiety, and worry due to stammering, due which had a negative impact on their mental health at workplace. Then the fear, the anxiety, worry would be in various situations, the job interview, while they're introducing the self-kind orientation, or during presentation, or during team meetings. Then in focus group discussion, it was seen that they have a feeling of loneliness because they are even avoiding interaction with others because they are judged by others. Then they have social withdrawal because of the negative experience that they have with while interacting with others. Then they have seen that people are not very open to listen to them because they take a lot of time. And there is stereotype where others feel that they are people who are shy and they're introvert. Then
and we would see the change that had happened with them. So in the initial workshops, they were not very open and they would not participate. But when they saw our reaction and when they saw that we are not the one who are judging them and we are here to understand them, they started opening, and we saw that it was not where they have poor communication or it was not as low self-esteem, it is us who are not understanding.
Joe Biden, Churchill, and King George, there was a movie also on there are chapters. And the overall conclusion from chapter
Stand up.
instead of choosing their liking, the job, they like it, they lose that and they go for the second to avoid it.
I just wanted to add here that motivation, right? One of the crucial factor here is self-acceptance, which we saw was a major struggle amongst the PWS. So the TISA which we mentioned about, or any self-help group, do help them out for self-accept the standard. Also, many researchers have also highlighted that self-disclosure is something which help them to reduce that anxiety and stress which comes with standing. So that is also part of their self-acceptance. So I think whoever you mentioned right now, all the legends right now, they have also passed this journey, and self-acceptance is one of the crucial factors they also will be talking about. So yeah, that's what our aim is for the going, like creating awareness is somewhere help them to inculcate that self-acceptance. So yeah.
Yes, so we have not come across any friends, but there we did come across a lot of people. Also in this study, as you mentioned, there are people who have overcome. So in that organization also, or in that SHG group also, there were people who had overcome and they did not face any of these problems. But we excluded them from our focus group because we wanted to know what are the challenges.
Have you suggested any supportive psychotherapies for this?
So when we did our literature, there is only speech therapy and CBT which has been used, and so further on we also have make some tailoring for people for individuals who stand. That is the reason for dissertation we are planning to do that.
Any other ideas? Any new invention for that? That you're assuming anything for that? Yeah, it should be like this. And
Yes, yes.
already we have some supportive psychotherapists, but still, have you assumed or have you any idea about that?
We did try using expressive therapies, majorly music and movement and art-based therapies with them, and we saw that they were keen to do it, and they did help them to reduce some amount of their anxiety. So we are still working on it, and we are seeing what will work better.
Your paper title is Mental Health Challenges among Samarin Individuals at the Workplace. Which types of psychological tools using assess the mental health challenges of Samarin people?
So we did not use we just use that we just went on a where we were trying to know from them that what are they facing. Not use any standardized.
So, based on that semi-structured interview, you collected only opinion of sample. It is only subjective opinion. It is subjective. It is not objective. Your result is totally subjective. Okay. So your conclusions, your findings is valid question to assess the mental health challenges related questionnaire. Otherwise, your research only subject in universal. Okay, only in the viewpoint of your observation. Okay. Okay. Then next, workplace. Which type specific workplace is mentioned in your paper? You mentioned particularly workplaces details. Data collection from IT or government employees like that. Okay, otherwise it is not considered scientific. Okay. Research methodology is very essential.
I would like to say there is only 2 minutes for questions. So I hope everyone understands. We are running out of time. And now I call upon Panam Fatima Bibi.
Good afternoon, honored doctors. Myself, Fatima, and I am pursuing my MSc Psychology at Bangalore University. And my research title is Relationship Among Perceived Social Support, Resilience and Burnout Among Healthcare Professionals. We all know that healthcare professionals are backbone for healthcare systems. They also play a vital role in our individual as well as in our communities. But due to the demanding nature of their work, the long hours and lack of staff, and even this stressful situation and stressful decision making may lead to burnout. So, according to Maslow and Jackson, burnout is defined as a syndrome where emotional exhaustion, depersonalization, and guessing personal achievement takes place. And Friedenberg was the first person to work on staff burnout. According to him, it's a behavioral pattern where the behavioral set of things and physical symptoms may impact on the individual's performance. The latest research, which is conducted on 2020 in India, shows that there is 24% of emotional exhaustion is noted in healthcare professionals, 27% depersonalization, and 23% less in personal achievement. So, International Standard of Classification of Occupation ISO 2008 lists healthcare professionals are medical doctors, nursing professionals, midwifery professionals, dentists, pharmacists, and allied health therapists. Allied health therapists was added into this list after the broad 5 classification of ISCO in 2012. Resilience is the ability to cope up or bounce back to the situation given. According to American Psychological Association 2012, they told that resilience is a process of adapting to adversity, trauma, tragedy, and even significant sources of stress. There is a research given by Osprey in 2008 says that perceived social support is a key facilitator to burnout. This is the main component why I took this topic as my title. There are many research which works on resilience and burnout as well as perceived social support, but there are no research which shows the interplay between these 3 variables. So I wanted to check what is the actual interplay between these 3 variables, whether it's impact on other variables or burnout among healthcare professionals. This is the literature review, and I have added 3 points of the literature which I have found. It says that worldwide there are 58.5% of prevalence of burnout, and factors associated with the burnout are age, profession, relationship status, and the level of resilience they feel among themselves. And this resilience and burnout, it also says that high resilience and institutional support reduces the burnout risk. These are the strategies, and developing resilience skill can reduce the level of burnout. So this is methodology. The main objectives of the main study is to explore the level of burnout and the relationship among these three variables, and to investigate the role of gender among the relationship of resilience, process, social support and burnout. So these are the hypotheses. First one, there will be a significant difference among the relationship in resilience, process, social support, burnout among healthcare professionals, and I also wanted to study the significant difference among the gender in these three variables. So research design was cross-sectional and quantitative research design, and it was explorative in nature. These are the variables, and materials which I used was Maslow's burnout inventory, breath resilience scale, and multidimensional person social support. All these three had high level and validity, more than 0.80, and just and the Maslow burnout inventory, where I specified health service center, where I gave a portion of question which focuses on medical person. So that questionnaire was used, which focuses on medical person. So sampling 74 data were collected out of 30 males and 44 females, and the data was collected through online platform through survey. So this is the descriptive statistics. According to this, the data which is there, it's normally distributed and it is within the range. Because of this, I have used Pearson correlation because the data was normally distributed and it was within the range. Pearson correlation data was here. So the correlation here, it shows that in emotional exhaustion and depersonalization as well as personal social support, there is a direct factor. So there is a limitation of the study. And future research, we can select the causal interpretation and examine different and conduct longitudinal studies. Last one. Healthcare organizations should prioritize social support and resilience, as well as they have to conclude that gender role should be an important factor to intervention, as well as they should foster communication and resilience and empathy to promote and foster social support. Thank you.
How many samples involved in already mentioned in 74 samples including in your research? How many members belongs to get
30 males and 44 females.
why only 44 is male, 30 females?
So because of time constraint, I couldn't collect the data. So it is one of my limitations in the study. The sample size was less, and due to time constraint, I couldn't collect.
Okay, in descriptive research, okay, only 30 samples is enough.
Sir, it's minimum sample size. To be fact, it's not enough.
There is usually minimum sample size. Which types of research design
Yes, sir.
to fix the minimum sample size? That is
So,
only experimental research design
yeah.
minimum time. Otherwise, it is self-assessment.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so your result is reliable.
Yes.
Say sample size is
Yeah, sure, sir.
okay.
Yeah.
Then another one, your research design is cross-sectional. Your further research suggestion is
Sir, I haven't specified any age group. Yes.
a single point age group, you define age group.
Sure, sir.
So and so age group.
Yes.
Okay. An example, 22, maximum 60. Or 50, 55. Okay, 20, 25, 30, 35. So this is cross-sectional.
Sir, actually it was given in my data collection form where 21 to 30 and 31 to 40 and above 40 data was collected.
Okay, you
Usually
should
given.
mention in methodology.
Sure, sir.
I have one question.
Yeah, sure.
I have mentioned in the one is the data from the 2012 and another is 2024. Is it gap between years?
2012.
Yeah, I mentioned it.
2012 was 80 about resilience. Thank you.
Thank you. And now I call upon Pooja.
Namaste. Pooja, my name is first year student. So, first year mistake connections. ನಾನು paper topic ಒಂದು the level of psychological well-being between teaching and non-teaching staff in Bangalore University. ನಾನು ಈ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಯಾಕೆ ತಗೊಂಡೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯವಾಗಿ ನಾನು ನೋಡಿರೋ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟಾಫ್ಗಿಂತ ನಾನ್ ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟಾಫ್ಗಳಿಗೆ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಎಸ್ಟೀಮ್ ಇರೋದನ್ನು ನಾನು ನೋಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಯಾಕಪ್ಪ ಅಂದರೆ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಗಳು ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಷ್ಟು ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ನಾನ್ ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್ ಫ್ಯಾಕಲ್ಟಿ ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಅವರು ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಎಸ್ಟೀಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಾನು ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಸ್ಟಾಫ್ಗಿಂತ ನಾನ್ ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟಾಫ್ಗಳಿಗೆ ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಗಳು ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ರ ಮಾನಸಿಕ ಯೋಗಕ್ಷೇಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಗೆ ಆಗೋದನ್ನು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾನು ಈ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ನ ಚೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ಈಗಿರೋದ ರಿವ್ಯೂ ಆಫ್ ಲಿಟ್ರೇಚರು ನನ್ನ ಸ್ಟಡಿಗೆ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿತು. ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ನನ್ನ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಮೇನ್ ಏನಂದರೆ ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್ ಮತ್ತು ನಾನ್ ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟಾಫ್ಗಳ ಮಾನಸಿಕ ಯೋಗಕ್ಷೇಮವನ್ನು ಇಬ್ಬರ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸ ಇದೆಯೋ ಇಲ್ಲೋ ಅಂತ ಕಂಡುಹಿಡಿಯೋದು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೈಪೋಥಿಸಿಸ್ ಏನಂದರೆ ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟಾಫು ಮತ್ತು ನಾನ್ ಸ್ಟಾಫ್ನ ಸೈಕಾಲಜಿಕಲ್ ವೆಲ್ಬೀಯಿಂಗು ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯ ಗಮನಾರ್ಹ ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸವಾಗಿರಬಹುದು ಅಂತಲೂ ಹೈಪೋಥಿಸಿಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಅದ್ರ ನಾನು ಬಳಸ್ಕೊಂಡಿರೋ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಸೈಕಾಲಜಿಕಲ್ ವೆಲ್ಬೀಯಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಕೇಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾರೋಲ್ ರೀಫ್ ಮತ್ತು ಕೈಸೆ ಅಂತ. ಅದನ್ನು 1995 ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ವೇರಿಯೇಬಲ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟಾಫ್ ಮತ್ತು ನಾನ್ ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟಾಫು, ಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ವೇರಿಯೇಬಲ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಸೈಕಾಲಜಿಕಲ್ ವೆಲ್ಬೀಯಿಂಗು. ನನ್ನ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿರೋ ಡೇಟಾ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಅದನ್ನು ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಟಿವ್ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಟಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಈ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟಾಫ್ ಮೀನ್ ಬಂದಿತ್ತು 168.67 ಮತ್ತು ನಾನ್ ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟಾಫ್ದು ಮೀನ್ ಬಂದಿತ್ತು 159.23. ಇದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಟಿ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ನೋಡಿದಾಗ 1.627 ಇದ್ರ ಟಿ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಬಂದಿದೆ. ಇದು ಓವರಾಲ್ ಈ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ನನ್ನ ಹೈಪೋಥಿಸಿಸ್ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಈ ರಿಸಲ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ ಹೈಪೋಥಿಸಿಸ್ ಪ್ರೂವ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಲಿಮಿಟೇಷನ್ಸು ನಾನು ಬರೀ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿರುವ ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್ ಮತ್ತು ನಾನ್ ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟಾಫ್ಗಳ ಅಧ್ಯಯನ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ಅದು ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆನೂ ಅಧ್ಯಯನ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ನನ್ನ ಸ್ಯಾಂಪಲ್ಸ್ ಬರೀ 60 ಇತ್ತು, 30 ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟಾಫು ಮತ್ತು 30 ನಾನ್ ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟಾಫು. ಇದರಿಂದ ನಂದು ರಿಸಲ್ಟು ಬರೀ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿರೋದು ತಗೊಂಡಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಇವಾಗ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಯಿತು. ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಏನಂದರೆ ಇದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಲಾರ್ಜ್ ಸ್ಯಾಂಪಲಿಂಗಲ್ಲಿ ಇದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಅಧ್ಯಯನ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಏಜ್ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ಗಳನ್ನು ತಗೊಂಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮತ್ತು ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಜೆಂಡರ್ನಲ್ಲೂ ನಾವು ಇದನ್ನು ಅಧ್ಯಯನ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು.
ಲಿಮಿಟೆಡ್ ಸ್ಯಾಂಪಲ್ಸ್ ಆಯ್ತಲ್ವಾ ಟಾರ್ಗೆಟ್ ಗ್ರೂಪಲ್ಲಿ? ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಯ್ತಲ್ವಾ?
ಸಿಕ್ಕಿರೋ ಟೈಮ್
ನೀವು ಯಾವುದು ಇದನ್ನ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಇದನ್ನ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಡಿಸೈನ್ ಹಾಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರಿ?
ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟೇಟಿವ್ ಅನಲೈಸ್ ಡಾಟಾ ಕಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಸರ್ವೆ ಮೆಥಡ್. ನಾನು ಮಾಡಿರೋದು ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟೇಟಿವ್.
ಈಗಿನ ಸರ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಲ್ವ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪರಿಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಡಿಸೈನು 30 ಇಸ್ ದ ಲಿಮಿಟ್ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು. ಸೊ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪರಿಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಡಿಸೈನ್ಗೆ ಈಗ ಸರ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟೇಷನಲ್ಲಿ, ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು. ನಿಮಗೆ ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಒಂದಷ್ಟು ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಬೇಕಿತ್ತೇನೋ ಅಂತ ಸ್ಯಾಂಪಲ್ ಸೈಜ್.
ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ನಾನು ಅದನ್ನು
into assessment of psychological well-being. ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಬೇರೆ ಅಂತೂ ಬಟ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಸ್ಪಷ್ಟತೆ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಏನಿದೆ ಸಾಕು. ಬಟ್ ನೀವು ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸೈಕಲಾಜಿಕಲ್ ವೆಲ್ಬೀಯಿಂಗ್ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಡಿಫೈನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಪರೇಷನಲ್ ಡೆಫಿನೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಯುವರ್ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಪೇಪರ್. ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಸೈಕಲಾಜಿಕಲ್ ವೆಲ್ಬೀಯಿಂಗ್? ಆಯ್ತಲ್ವಾ? ಮಾನಸಿಕ ಸ್ವಾಸ್ಥ್ಯ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಅಥವಾ ರೆಫ್ರಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಡೆಲ್ಫಿ ಕೇಸ್ 1995 ಅವ್ರು ಏನು ಟೂಲ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅವರು ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಮೀನ್ ಬೈ ಸೈಕಲಾಜಿಕಲ್ ವೆಲ್ಬೀಯಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಡಿಫೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದು ಆಪರೇಷನಲ್ ಡೆಫಿನೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೈಕಲಾಜಿಕಲ್ ವೆಲ್ಬೀಯಿಂಗ್. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಒನ್. ಅವರೇನು ಅಸಿಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಬೇರೆ. ಸೊ ಅದೇ ಥರ ನಾನ್ ಸ್ಟಾಫ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಅವರೇನು ಅಟೆಂಡ STCನ FDCನ ಸೂಪರ್ಡೆಂಟ್ ಅಂದರೆ ನೀವು ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಸಿವ್ ಕ್ರೈಟೀರಿಯಾ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಕ್ಲೂಸಿವ್ ಕ್ರೈಟೀರಿಯಾ ಅಂತ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್. ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? 30 ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟಾಫ್ ಅಂದರೆ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಕನ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ 30 ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟಾಫ್ ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವಿಂಗ್ ಅಸಿಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಕೇಡರ್ ಸ್ಯಾಂಪಲಿಂಗ್. ಅಥವಾ ನಾನ್ ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಅಪ್ ಟು B ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ B ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಅಥವಾ C ಗ್ರೂಪ್. ಈ ಥರ ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್ ಆಗಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಹೈಪೋಥಿಸಿಸ್ ಬಟ್ ಸಿಗ್ನಿಫಿಕೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ
Thank you. And I welcome one.
Doctor and President, myself Rakshita. I will be discussing briefly about mental well-being, then problems faced by the employees who does not have mental peace at the workplace, then stress response cycle I will explain. Herself she explained ways to improve mental peace at the workplace. So mental peace at workplace is an important factor. It affects the employee well-being, productivity and overall organizational success. When we define mental peace in context of the work and daily life, it is a psychological calm, emotional stability. It allows the individuals to actively engage in their tasks and maintaining a healthy work-life balance. There are 4 key words here. They are psychological calm, emotional stability, then actively engaged, then healthy work-life balance. What is psychological calm? It means freedom from stress, anxiety and mental turmoil. Then when it comes to emotional stability, what is emotional stability? It is ability to manage the emotions and adaptability. When we come to active engagement, it means ability to focus, motivate and participate in tasks. harmonious integration of work, personal and family life. In today's work, so much of pressure is there on employees. Like they have forgot there is a line between work life and the family life. Even they have the personal life. They don't even know. They bring their work to the home. They are not able to focus on the kids, family, parents, and according to one of the Sanskrit shloka, it says that यथा हेकेन चक्रेण न रथस्य गतिः भवेत् एवं परुषकारेण विनः दयं न सिद्ध्यन्ति. It means that chariot cannot move with the one wheel. Like that, destiny cannot be proved without effort. Similarly, it is not possible to achieve productivity at the workplace without mental peace because they are the two wheels of the chariot. From this, we can understand that mental peace is very important to achieve the productivity at the workplace. If we have the mental peace at the workplace, and some people are introverts, they are not able to express themselves if they are under the stress. If you provide them a friendly environment, they are able to explore, they are able to communicate, and some people put holidays, like apply for the holidays by giving excuses. So they will not give excuses if they have a mental peace and friendly environment at the workplace. Problems faced by the employees who does not have mental peace at workplace, like long working hours. As I said, employees are working more than the usual working hours. Yes. This is the employees' quality of life. It affects the mental health of the employee. Then being creative is crucial component of the productivity. If we want to be productive in our work, we should be creative. So if we the work, it's not possible to achieve the productivity. It may decrease the productivity of the work of employee. Like he is not able to give his 100% in his work. Then another problem encountered by the workers is lack of communication. They are not able to express themselves. They are not able to convey the things he knows. That is a problem. Stress response cycle. We experience a difficult event, we feel stressed. There are things in our body called adrenaline and cortisol. They are released by the adrenaline gland. It is basically situated above the kidney. They are also the stress hormones. When we feel stress, these two hormones releases. Our head hurts, neck muscles and shoulder tightens. Then pain makes the stress even worse. Like this, the cycle continues.
As she said, the problems that we have faced, we can see that how we can improve that mental peace. So when the employee is stressed, or if the pain is physical, we can go to a doctor and we can get treated. But when it comes to stress and mental peace, okay, so the employers can perform them, give them a mental, like physical activities. It might be a questionnaire or a yoga sections like gym trainers, etc. If the employees are interested in that all things, and they can even support them not only financially but emotionally by discussing their concerns related to that. And when it comes to when the support, usually the productivity of the company also increases. In the same way, it doesn't only come responsibility for employees, but employers and employees both have to contribute so that the employees can work productively and they can provide them the issues, or we can clear the issues. Thank you.
Major deficit in your paper is reference part. without reference. Okay. Mention reference for this picture from Google, www. Okay, then so many facts to present in your paper. You give proper reference within the bracket of the content. Okay.
Thank you. And now I call upon Rashmi and
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Rashmi N, faculty of Yoga Department, Bangalore University. Actually, I have done research on effect of Sukshma Vyayama on IQ among high school students. Holistic approach. In that, I have taken a bit that is Sukshma Vyayama for my study. Along with that, NEP 2020, they have recommended for schools and colleges to adopt yoga as their holistic tool. Why yoga? Actually, what happens in among adolescent time is that our cognitive behavior depends on our distraction level, the child's distraction level, everything. When you do yoga, there will be less of distractions, especially because during adolescence period, what happens is children faces many questions, distractions, problems like hormone. There will be change in their hormone levels, their body will be changing, their cognitive behavior will be changing. So, when they practice yoga, they can overcome it and focus on what they want to do in their life. My main objective is focused learning is the most frequent problem faced by school children. Yoga is a non-invasive, cost-efficient and safe intervention among complementary and alternative medicine. And my main aim of the study is that the purpose of present study is to assess the role of Sukshma Vyayama on IQ in school students. Sukshma Vyayama is nothing but micro exercises. They can be done within the classroom, not outside. For example, if you are sitting here, neck rotation, wrist rotation, hand stretching, these are the Sukshma Vyayamas which can be done. So, my design is two-group study with pre and post-test design. Methodology is that I selected 60 participants. 30 random samplings were examined to understand the learning of Sukshma Vyayama. My scale is WISC scale, that is Western Intelligence Scale for Children. I have given this scale for pre and post. I have conducted this research for 6 weeks among high school students. I had both control group as well as experimental group. In control, I had 30 students, 15 girls and 15 boys. In experimental group as well as 30 students, 15 boys and 15 girls. And what we did is, every half, like each interval, when a new class starts, for 3 to 5 minutes, we tell the teachers to do, make children to do Sukshma Vyayama. That is, they can sit and do, or they can stand and do like ankle rotation, ankle stretches, everything. Why? Because they'll be distracted and they'll be stressed sitting continuously for longer duration time, and for more than 30 minutes, nobody can concentrate on one thing. How can a children or student can concentrate from morning till evening? That is from 9 it will start and end at 3:30. They can't one place and just listen to the class, whatever is happening in the class. When they do Sukshma Vyayamas, they'll relax, their brain will relax, and their cognitive function will improve. Because of that, they can utilize their IQ properly. This was my test. And this was my intervention, what I made them to do in the class. This was my descriptive test which I had given. This experimental group. This is my control group test. Result is that there was an improvement among the students who did Sukshma Vyayama in their classroom, and there was no improvement among the students who didn't do Sukshma Vyayama. This was my intervention. Advantages. Limitation was I had taken small size and it could be done among larger group as well. It is not only for school students or college students, it can be done at workplace too, because this is in this modern time, it's a sedentary lifestyle. There will be a lot of stress, anxiety, panic attacks and all. If they are practicing yoga as a holistic thing, they can overcome it, they can utilize their IQ. This is my study. Thank you.
University was effect of Sukshma Vyayama, okay, on IQ development among high school students. IQ among high school students. Clear? Okay. Which component is dependent variable? Which component is independent variable? Very clear, very simple. Your title is effect of Sukshma Vyayama, okay, development of IQ among high school students. Clear? So, what is the dependent variable? What is the independent variable? Independent variable. Very clear and simple. Your topic is experimental research design based topic. Sukshma Vyayama is independent variable. See, independent variable. Okay. IQ, high school students, it is dependent variable. Researcher manipulated the variable, that is called independent variable. Okay. So, you have increased the energy by independent variable. Like Sukshma Vyayama, 6 weeks intervention. Okay. How to select the IQ students? Which types of tool you use?
Sir, I use WISC, intelligence approach, that is given for 6 to 60 years old.
Okay, which stage or where you are using the intelligence test in your study?
Pre and post, sir. Before giving my Sukshma Vyayama program, like before starting my experiment and after ending my experiment, I have given them the test and collected the data and I
No need it. Okay, I understood all the concept. Okay, but which IQ level the students is selected in your study?
Sir, every level I
That is wrong, totally wrong. Your topic is
Yes, sir.
impact of Sukshma
Sir,
Yoga.
yes,
Development of the
Low IQ ಇದ್ದಾಗ
low level
low level
IQ students you selected before the pretest. Then you use the Sukshma yoga intervention. After you again you study the IQ, because of your IQ intervention, enhancing the IQ level.
low IQ level should have taken access.
Okay.
What I did is I
That is intervention setting. Before assessment of the any level goes, then it gives the intervention after that because of your Sukshma Yoga effect enhance the IQ level. That is post education. Okay. But then your sample size 30 is enough. That is experimental research design. But intervention, in each intervention session, okay, ಆ ಗುಂಪಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಕೊಟ್ರಿ ಇಂಟರ್ವೆನ್ಷನ್ ಈ ಸೆಷನ್ ಸೂಕ್ಷ್ಮ ಯೋಗ ಸೂಕ್ಷ್ಮ ಯೋಗ no that is wrong in experimental research design effective ಆಗಬೇಕು no 60 members ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ according to Egan in 1998 refer ಮಾಡಿ experimental research design ಅಲ್ಲಿ effective intervention ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ the experimental group consists of only 8 to 10 members without theoretical background, without theoretical reduced background. Okay, ನೀವು justify ಮಾಡೋದು difficult. That is subjective also. But ನೀವು ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಏನಾದರೂ ಅದನ್ನು PhD ಅಥವಾ ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆ ಪಬ್ಲಿಷ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಈಗ ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ನೀವು ಕರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಅದು ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ತಪ್ಪುಗಳು ಸರಿಪಡಿಸಿದ್ರೆ ಅದರ್ವೈಸ್ ಲ್ಯಾಕ್ ಆಫ್ ರಾಂಗ್ ಮೇಡಮ್ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಲ್ಲ Foundation of Behavioral Research, or KD Gupta books, or Patani written books. Okay, experimental research design is very clear, very specific. Pre-test and post-test design, experimental group and control group, and maximization principle is very rigid, very essential. Particularly experimental research design, you should follow the principles of Maxwell's principle and intervention group criteria. So, overall, you should follow the major concepts. Okay, this is my suggestion.
Thank you. And now I welcome Geeta.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Geeta, a research scholar from Geeta. The topic for today's presentation, which I've taken is the effect of gratitude journaling on altruism, forgiveness,
ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಂತ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್
and
ಕಾಣುತ್ತೆ.
resilience among college students. Okay. So, what is gratitude journaling? It's a practice of recording things that one is thankful for on a daily basis, and this has been found to be associated with numerous psychological benefits. That is my independent variable here, and it has been studied. It has been shown through various studies that gratitude journaling brings about a lot of positive outcomes, which includes increased happiness, reduced stress levels, and improved mental health. The study which I have done over here aims to fill the gap by examining the effect of gratitude journaling on altruism, forgiveness, and resilience among college students. Altruism can be defined as the selfless concern for well-being of others. Forgiveness is the process of overcoming feelings of resentment or vengeance towards those who have wronged us. And resilience, the ability to adapt and recover from adversity. Sorry? Sometimes a little, but the slide is not repeated. Yes, the next one. Many studies have been conducted so far, which talks about gratitude journaling and psychological well-being, which says that how gratitude journaling brings about psychological well-being by causing reduced symptoms of depression and anxiety. How altruism is associated with gratitude. Next one. Forgiveness. How gratitude brings about an increased level of forgiveness among individuals. How gratitude brings about higher levels of resilience among general population. Now the objective of my study over here, twofold. One, to evaluate the effect of gratitude journaling on altruism, forgiveness and resilience. Second one, to study the nature of impact of various demographic variables on altruism, forgiveness and resilience among college students. Hypothesis again twofold. So my sample basically consisted of 180 college students in the age group of 18 to 24, the government Western College Silsi. The inclusion criteria was students should be enrolled in the full-time study, where they voluntarily participated in the entire study duration. Interventions, gratitude journaling group, the participants were instructed to write 3 things they were grateful for each day for a period of 8 weeks. On the control group, no intervention was given. 3 scales were used over here. The first one is the adult resilience measure, the revised version. Second scale is the heartland forgiveness scale, and the third scale, altruistic personality scale. Now, how was the experiment done? Basically, the students, 180 participants who volunteered for the study, they were divided into 2 groups of experimental group and the control group. The intervention lasted for 8 weeks, where the students, the participants had to journal 3 things they were grateful for every day. The inclusion criteria, as I mentioned before, the students willingly enrolled for the study for the entire duration of 8 weeks. And yes, in the experimental group, the students would journal whatever they were grateful for in 3 ways. They were not asked to intervention. Next. Pre-intervention assessments were conducted to establish baseline measures of the aspects, altruism, forgiveness, and resilience. And after the 8-week intervention period, post-intervention assessments were done to evaluate any changes that occurred in the experimental group and the control group. Additionally, multiple stepwise regression analysis, the collected data was analyzed through 2 methods, t-test and the paired t-test and the stepwise multiple regression analysis. Yes. T-test to see the impact by comparing pre and post-test intervention. Stepwise regression analysis to see the effect of demographical variables such as age, gender, caste and everything on. Stepwise regression analysis to see the effect of gender, age and caste on the 3 aspects of altruism, forgiveness and resilience. So basically, it was found that there was improvement in all the 3 areas. The extent of improvement was statistically significant. It was statistically significant at 0.001 level. And according to when the stepwise multiple regression analysis was done, for altruism, age and gender had significant influence on altruism. With respect to forgiveness, it was gender which brought about a greater change in the level of forgiveness. And with respect to resilience, it was gender and education which brought about greater changes in the resilience levels among participants. examination bias, and study was conducted only with reference to one college. Third one, it was a homogeneous sample consisting of 18 to 24 years ages of students, and since the intervention was only for 8-week duration, maybe the time limit was limited, but still there was initial effects of the gratitude journaling. There could be some confounding variables. Final results. Yeah. The intervention of gratitude journaling is effective in bringing about changes in altruism, forgiveness, and resilience among college students. And the practice offers valuable tools for promoting mental health and well-being in the educational settings. And these interventions are practical, cost-effective, making them ideal for integration into student support programs. Thank you. Yes.
Your research
Yes.
present, you are doing PhD.
Yes.
Under the guidance of Swami.
Yes.
Is your PhD topic?
Yes. I mean, this is one of the subtopics.
Subtopic. Okay. Gratitude, journaling, intervention, research. Okay. Before conducting study, you take permission from Human Ethical Committee.
I took permission from the principal of our college and
That is consent.
okay.
Sampling consent is different. Human Ethical Committee permission is different. Without Human Ethical Committee permission, okay, your paper not considered.
So what comprises of the
Human Ethical Committee, this is intervention study.
Yes.
Any intervention you give human beings, okay, are animals. You ಯಾವುದೇ intervention study ಕೊಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. So the sample in attending the intervention 18 weeks or
8 weeks.
8 weeks. Okay. ಆ 8 weeks attend ಆಗೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ಸೈಡ್ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋ ಖಾತ್ರಿ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಧಾರವಾಡ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ ಇದೆ. Every university in the humanities or the science with research faculty, before conducting any intervention studies, first you take permission from Human Ethical Committee. Every university, according to UGC norms, have Human Ethical Committee. One Human Ethical Committee is there. Before conducting the research, you present the entire topic in front of the Human Ethical Committee. First you take permission from Human Ethical Committee, then you conduct your research. That is first criteria. So second one, you should clearly mention intervention sessions and groups. How many hours you give the intervention? Okay, you mention it specifically, duration of intervention, weeks. 8 weeks is your intervention duration. But entire all 180 people not attending
The intervention.
their intervention 8 weeks are totally 8 weeks. Some sampling due to the health reasons or some cannot. No, different. Okay. Your experimental research design, which types of factorial research design are you aware? How to define 2 into 3?
Journaling on altruism, journaling on forgiveness, gratitude, journaling on resilience, and there's one more. Random acts of kindness again on altruism, random act on forgiveness, random act on resilience.
3 into 3. 3 factorial research design. No, 3
Two interventions.
Okay. But more statistical analysis is required. To be ANOVA or ANOVA is required.
I just agree for this one.
So analysis of multivariates, only regression.
But this
You
is
already
a
regression.
pilot study.
So pilot study you take only 10 samples. Why you want to take 180 samples?
My total sample is more than 600. Sir.
Okay, I understood.
In
But
that, when I started,
what then you 10 samples is required in pilot study. Why you are choosing 180 samples unnecessary?
because I wanted to see if there was
Okay, I understood. But original sample is how many samples you consist of your study?
original, it was about 400, but later it was about 400 is not enough. So I did more than nearly 600 to 700 students is what I do.
It is final
This one.
this one. Okay. How many years you take intervention?
So I just took only 8 weeks when I started.
Only intervention, effective intervention group consists of 10 members, 700.
That was the final study. So starting ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ I took 400, 300.
700 ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಇಂಟರ್ವೆನ್ಷನ್ ಕೊಡಕ್ಕೆ ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ 10 ಮೆಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕು. ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಇಂಟರ್ವೆನ್ಷನ್ ನೀವು 30-40 ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ನೆಸ್ ನೋಡಕ್ಕಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಅವಾಗ 10 ಮೆಂಬರ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಇನ್ 700 ಆ ಥರ ಹೇಳ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಮೆಥಡಾಲಜಿಗಳೇ ಆಗಲಿ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್
Sir, I was not giving any intervention as such. I had to record it. One is journaling. One they were doing acts of kindness.
ನೀವು ಕೊಡ್ತೇವೆ ಇಂಟರ್ವೆನ್ಷನ್
Total, how do you say done Kuttagi? How do you say that?
ಬಟ್ ಇವಾಗ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಇಸ್ ಇಂಟರ್ವೆನ್ಷನ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿ PhD ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ನೀವು ಇಂಟರ್ವೆನ್ಷನ್
Then that is not intervention. You can't mention that as intervention. You ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಸರ್ ಜರ್ನಲಿಂಗ್ ಹೇಳಿದೀನಿ ಅವ್ರು ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವರು ಜರ್ನಲಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಅದು ಇಂಟರ್ವೆನ್ಷನ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ವಾ ಸರ್?
ಅಲ್ಲ ಇಂಟರ್ವೆನ್ಷನ್ ಅದನ್ನ
Something which you give from your end, that is intervention.
Okay.
You have to
Some
follow
training
some
or some
otherwise ನೀವು
like that.
ನಾನು ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಪಡೆದು ಸರ್ ಈಗ ನಾನು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂತ. ಸೊ ಆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಏನು ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕಂಡು ಬಂದಿದೆ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್. ಸೊ
ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಿರೋದು ನಿಮಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪರಿಮೆಂಟಲ್ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಡಿಸೈನ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಓನ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಕ್ಲಾರಿಟಿ ಇರೋದು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪರಿಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಅದರ್ವೈಸ್ ಇಂಟರ್ವೆನ್ಷನ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರಲ್ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕ್ಲಾರಿಟಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಈಗಲೂ. ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಿರೋದು
ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸರ್ ಗೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರೋದು.
ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಿರೋದು ನೀವು ಈ ಹಂತದಲ್ಲೇ ಕೆಲವು ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಎಥಿಕಲ್ ಕಮಿಟಿ ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಫಸ್ಟು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪರ್ಮಿಷನ್ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು.
ಓಕೆ.
ಎಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಸೈಂಟಿಫಿಕ್ ಜರ್ನಲ್ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಎಥಿಕಲ್ ಕಮಿಟಿ ಪರ್ಮಿಷನ್ ಲೆಟರ್ ಕನ್ಸೆಂಟ್ನ ಕೇಳಿ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದನ್ನ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ವೆಯ್ಟ್
ಅಂದ್ರೆ
ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ನಿಮ್ಮ
ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ.
ಮಾಡಿರೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟೇಷನ್ಗೆ ಅಪ್ರಿಸಿಯೇಷನ್ ಇದೆ ಗುಡ್ ಅದೇನಿಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇನು ನ್ಯೂನತೆಗಳಿದೆ
Thank you. Now I call upon Rupashri.
Good afternoon. Myself Rupashri. The topic of mine is work locus of control on perceived quality of work life among employees working in different modes. So, locus of control is considered to be one of the very important aspects of personality, which was originally developed by Julian Norton. The objectives of the study here is to study the impact of work locus of control on the employees who work in office, who work in remote sector, and also in the
hybrid design. And also to study the quality, the perception of quality of work life, again comparing the different work modes, and also to check whether the internal, external and situational locus of control and what is their perception of quality of work life. This was the objective. The null hypothesis were formulated to study these objectives, and the research design employed was the exploratory research design. The independent variable here, the employees who has at least minimum 2 years of experience working in any sector, either it be work from office, hybrid or in the remote working. So the dependent variable here is work locus of control and the quality of work life. So the sample description, so the simple random sampling was employed here, and the people from each sector. So the sample size was 30 from each sector, so it was totally 90. So the inclusion criteria where people from urban background were included, both male and female, both took part in the study, and the people were it was an open with their designation, educational level, everything, all the kinds of educational level designations was considered. Coming to exclusion criteria, so we did not consider the rural population, and not any specific organization was kept in mind and did this. And also, people who had less than 2 years of working experience were also not included, and also the gender was not the main criteria of this particular study. The tools used in this study were for work locus of control, that was developed by Paul sector, which had 16 items to assess the locus of control, and it was highly reliable and valid. Quality of work life scale was developed by Dr. Santosh Dhar, and Vishnu Roy, which had 45 items of 4 different dimensions for proactive work-life balance, human relations, and learning. Descriptive statistics and memory and over were included. So ranging from 25 to 60 years of employees who have minimum 2 years of experiences were directly contacted and also virtually contacted, taken their consent and did the study. So coming to the descriptive statistics here. So first table talks about the mean of employees working in different mode, and that was compared with their perception of quality of work life. So the result, the mean comparison mentions here, people who work from office had the moderate level on their perception of quality of life totally. And in the hybrid mode, people who work in hybrid mode also had moderate level, but the scores compared to work from office was little higher. And people who work in remote working had lower level of perception about the quality of work life. For which the ANOVA was conducted. So the F ratio is significant to the critical value. So the null hypothesis formulated and was rejected at 0.059 significance. So the post-hoc test was done to understand what exactly there is a difference. So in that it was identified that there is a significant difference among people who work from office and the remote working, and there was no difference identified between people who work in the office and in the hybrid mode. The next comparison was people working in different mode with respect to work locus of control. So here, people who work from office and hybrid remote, all of them had internal locus of control, but varied in the points that was obtained. So remote working people had relatively less score, that is there were 10 to be more internal compared to the first and second population here. And the F ratio, that is the one-way ANOVA, is not significant to the critical value. Therefore, the null hypothesis formulated was accepted here. So it said that there was no significant difference with respect to work locus of control among employees working in different sectors. But still, the post-hoc studies mentions that, but still there are individual differences did exist with respect to the scores that they obtained. So the last thing here is to check what kind of say work locus of control and quality of work life were compared. So the employees were divided into 3 groups, that is internal, situational and external locus of control. So people with internal locus of control had moderate quality of work life perception, whereas situational and external locus of control had low perception on the quality psychology of work-life comparison. So the null hypothesis was rejected because F ratio was significantly critical value, and post-hoc studies did also find the difference between internal. There is a difference between internal compared to situational and external, but there was no much difference found between external and the situational control of people. So coming to the limitations of the study. So the limitation says that, say there is in the quality of work life there were 4 dimensions. Because of time constraints I could not include in the study, but wherein work locus of control could be compared with every dimension to understand say whether to what extent or who is more proactive, who has better work-life balance, or who has better learning orientation and the human relations. That is one of the major limitations. And this study was just limited to people in urban population and only to the Bangalore sector, so it cannot be generalized. The further scope is, yes, the study could be done in the dimensional case, gender could be included, or any specific organization or any particular comparison could have been included. These are the studies. Thank you.
Studies, international study. That's only assessment. So, okay, descriptive research method. Okay. But some null hypothesis is rejected. So many parents who are using the word null hypothesis rejected. Some hypothesis is. So you don't use the terminology. So only the hypothesis is supported or not supported. Okay. Huh? So that is one make it correct.
Thank you. And now I call upon Sangeeta Krishna, yes, and Alvina and Repeat, Sangeeta Krishna, yes, and Alvina and Ron. Now I call upon Shika Joshi. Okay, now Suman Gregory, Thomas and Pratibha MD and Dr. Lalita Raghu.
Along with Dr. Virgani and Dr. Lalita, we have done which is an impact of MPSR on psychological capital and burnout. So MPSR is an intervention strategy developed by Dr. Kadasan, which goes on for 8 weeks of intervention. And the next variable which we are considering is psychological capital. Psychological capital is it is also known as hero qualities, which is more optimism, resilience, and self-efficacy. So again, we are considering burnout, which is the emotional exhaustion and psychological exhaustion that happens when we are exhausted by the work, kind of work we are doing. And coming on to the literature review, we have actually covered a lot of literature which has positively influenced, their performance has positively influenced by the previous training sessions that different kind of population samples has grown. And finding out the objective was to find out that if the mindfulness-based stress reduction program effectively improves psychological capital and burnout. And the hypothesis that there is a significant improvement in psychological capital and burnout of the employees in MDSR taken group, and there is no significant improvement in psychological capital and burnout in the control group. The initial sample of the study included 400 IT employees, and from that they have given 2 scales, that is compound psychological capital scale as well as burnout inventory scale, and that was a screening, and based on that 80 employees were randomly selected and randomly allotted to experimental and control. And yes, I was just explaining the procedure. And in the second phase of the study, we have actually given the training, ABSR training for the period of 8 weeks. And it actually included 3 components. First one is theoretical materials on relaxation, meditation and mind-body connections. Then experimental practice meditation and real problem solving techniques were also there. And during the intervention, the participants were instructed to practice the techniques for at least 40 minutes a day. And the control group didn't receive any intervention during that particular period of time. My colleague will explain the research.
Okay, so this is the descriptive table. Now this is for the experimental pre and the post intervention. So now these are the components of psychological capital where you can see the lead scores. There is an increase in the post assessment of intervention on all the aspects, that including the overall is last one is not visible. So now we completed the cost and cycling test specifically. The distribution was not normal. So now when we have completed with Watson, we can see there that on all the components of psychological capital and overall psychological capital, there is an improvement after the intervention, and also it is found to be significant, and there is an increase in the psychological capital after the intervention that we can see in the larger effect size, which is in the last one. Now, in terms of the burnout, this is a descriptive table which is showing pre and the post training how is the different aspects of the burnout and the overall burnout. So, when we see in all the post assessment of burnout, there is a reduction in all the components of the burnout and the overall burnout as well. Moving ahead, the Watson cycling test again was concluded to check if there is a significant difference pre and the post assessment. And all of them is found to be significant with larger effect size, saying the burnout level has increased after the intervention. Now this is the descriptive table of the control group pre and the post assessment, where we can see in the psychological capital there is slight reductions in the post over the period of time. And then the cycling test says again in the self-efficacy. Self-efficacy is the one which is found to be significant with the time lapse, and the overall psychological capital also is found to be significant. So now that says that one of the components is psychological capital and the overall psychological capital with the time duration has improved. It says that which has been increased. That means to say without yeah. So now psychological factor of the control group has reduced, but with the intervention group it has increased. Now talking in terms of the burnout, the control group, the burnout again has been increased, and especially in view of the components you can see it is found to be, none of it is found to be significant. Next table. Yeah. So now the findings are the group which received the MBSR training has showed increase in the psychological capital and decrease in the burnout. And when we check with the control group, psychological capital has decreased over time without the intervention, and the burnout has been increased. So these are the distributions.
Again, I am asking before conducting the intervention, you got permission from before conducting the intervention studies, you got permissions from human medical committee. Okay, your best courage.
This was strategy was not much of it. So what I want to say is all the technical concerns are the present issues.
Okay, I observe. Okay, so statistically you are presenting pre-test and post-test statistical results clearly present. Observe, okay, what are the impact on pre-test and post-test. Okay, so your intervention effect on one of the group. Okay, so you take permission from your medical country, that is one point. Another point, so there are sample of the control group and experimental group. How many samples you distributed? Okay. How many samples you consider in your studies? Well, minimum particular you fix the sessions in inclusive criteria. Minimum 40 minutes intervention. Each sample, weekly once. Okay. You mention in inclusive criteria, minimum that sample attending this session, then include. Okay, that's important. You have some 60 interventions. So 50 sessions attended is considered this is some specific criteria. That is one of the most important point in
I have one question. Why you have chosen IT sector only? Why you have not selected other sectors? You can focus on other sectors also, no? Usually the perception is different. Perception is always goes, everyone goes for IT sectors. Why in other sectors? Easy to access or not?
either theoretical background justification, either review background justification. First,
How it is? It is not true. Everyone has their own stress, but many people are focusing only on targeting on IT sectors. Is that those people only have stress?
research, either before choosing this topic, first you study the literature reviews. First you find out the research gap. Okay. Then so many research reviews of theoretical literature says that. So this is one of the major psychological issues. Okay. So based on that review of the literature, you conduct the research. So that's why. That is research gap. You find out the research gap. So many Western countries conducting research in this particular topic, but in India it is lack of number of studies in particular area. That's why I choose this one. This is review based.
Thank you. And now I call upon Aparna Sari.
Good afternoon, everyone. So, I'm Aparna Sai. I'm a psychology student in the Department of Psychology, Bangalore University. So, my study is based on sleep quality, eating attitude, and mental health among shift workers. So, this is my abstract. So, in introduction, I have mentioned about the sleep quality and about how it affects sleep quality. It refers to how well an individual sleeps. Falling asleep, staying asleep at night, then feeling rested upon waking up. So all these depend upon the sleep quality. Then regarding the shift work, so nowadays it's very common in most of the industries that shift work is going on. Like most of the people will be either it will be a day shift or night shift. Sometimes it will be like a routine. Like in IT sector, most of the IT professionals will be having it as a routine. Like either they may have day shift or night shift depending on particular routine. So here they are the operational definitions which I have given here. Sleep quality. Sleep quality refers to the individual's subjective experience of their sleep, including factors such as duration, depth, restfulness, and ease of falling and staying asleep. Also eating attitude. Eating attitude refers to an individual's thoughts, beliefs, behavior related to food consumption, including their approach to dieting, meal patterns, and emotional responses to food. So this is my documentation. So here, I start with my methodology. My aim was is to study the sleep quality, eating attitude, and mental health among shift workers. The objective was to examine whether there is a significant relationship between sleep quality and fit attitude among day and night shift workers. So the hypothesis which I chose was alternative hypothesis. So here there is significant relationship between sleep quality and good attitude among day and night shift workers. So this study was completely exploratory and quantitative in nature. The variables which I chose was shift workers, that was independent variable, and sleep and eating attitude, that is dependent variable. So the tools which I used to assess the sleep in the study was sleep quality cycle and eating attitude test scale. Then the procedure was, the data was completely collected based on Google Forms, and the consent was also taken. Then the sleep quality scale consists of around 28 items, and eating attitude scale consists of around 40 items. The overall sample size was 30 day shift workers and 30 night shift workers. So this was my table which mentions the descriptive statistics in day shift workers. This was night shift workers. This proves that this particularly normal distribution, and it proves with the normality table, that is Chapeau's assessment. Now this is the correlation table. So in case of day shift, it was in day shift workers and it was in night shift workers. So in case of day shift workers, it was shown the p-value was below 0.05 level. So it was completely significant and the hypothesis was accepted. And in case of night shift workers, there was no significant relationship as it was more than it was about 0.05 level. So it was the alternate hypothesis was rejected at this point when regarding the night shift workers. So this was the summary. The overall sample size was 60, and in that 30 day shift workers and 30 night shift workers. So it was collected using random sampling technique, and the overall the final conclusion was there was significant difference between sleep quality and eating attitude for day shift workers, but in case of there was no significant relationship with night workers. So the hypothesis was rejected. will help in overall mental health strategies. So there were some limitations. So it was very small sample size as my time was little bit constrained. Then self-reported questionnaires was used. So then lack of qualitative data, then shift work variability. Maybe some people have, like, again as I said, like it was on basis of their shift works. Some people may also do day and as well as night, so it may affect. And also the suggestions, so it can be done within a larger sample, also which can include more mental health factors that need to be assessed. Then it also can be done in a long. Thank you.
But they gave more samples, only 60 samples. That is selected. Then another one mentioned that the hypothesis is supported or accepted. You don't use the accepted.
How much would you recommend the sample size for this?
Thank you. Now I call upon Ms. Pududuru Yashaswini and Dr. Jerus Alvin.
Good morning everyone, I am Yashaswini and my guide is Dr. Jerus Alvin. And my topic is, my research topic is emotional competence and life satisfaction among working and non-working women. So to understand it better, what emotional competence is, emotional competence is nothing but ability to understand one's feelings and others' feelings and also have the ability to express it in socially acceptable manner. Life satisfaction is nothing but how much a person likes their life, likes the life which they are living now, and also an overall assessment of the feeling. The objectives of the study is that to find out the level of emotional competence and life satisfaction among working and non-working women. Also essentially to find out the significant difference on emotional competence between working and non-working women. The hypothesis is that there will be significant difference in the level of emotional competence and life satisfaction between working and non-working women, and also there will be a positive correlation between the emotional competence and life satisfaction among working and non-working women. The sample for the research is we took 60 working and 60 non-working women from Malappuram district. The sampling method which we use is purposive sampling, and the age range is between 21 to 50 years. Essentially, the first thing we did is we took personal data sheet, which consists of social demographic characteristics like age, name, and etc. Scales which we used are emotional competence assessment scale and life satisfaction scale. Okay, for the procedure, first we selected participants through purpose of sampling, and then we made rapport with the people, with the participants, and then we gave consent. We took consent from them, also explained about what we are doing, also gave them questionnaires and solved their doubts, and then we got the data. For analysis of the data, we essentially took ANOVA, percentage analysis and correlation to measure level, range and relation. And results and discussion. So it's clearly seen that there is levels of emotional competence in working women is high. It's 46.66% and non-working women is 1.66%. In life satisfaction, it's not really significant. There is only trivial difference between working and non-working women. Okay, so significant difference in emotional competence. So here we have different variables. Almost everything is significant except accept interest, sadness, and jealousy. And then here also there is nothing significant in life satisfaction like emotional competence. And then correlation, we have positive correlation because fear, anger, and sadness and jealousy is negative, which in result increases the life satisfaction. Next. And among the non-working women also the correlation is positive. We conclude by saying that working women are more emotionally competent than non-working women. Working women tend to experience, tend to witness different situations which intent make their life which intent make them navigate through life better. Yeah, that's it. Limitations of the study is the sample size is very small, and we could also incorporate 2 more variables or more than 2 variables, and the sample size is only collected from 1 district in Kerala. Thank you.
What based you choosing the sample size, working and non-working sample? So your topic is emotional competence and life satisfaction on working and non-working women. Now purpose is working women. So working women in particular fields are education setting, school. You mentioned in fields, working women, which education sector, real sector, IT. Okay. Almost 68 departments in there. You included 68 departments.
There are so many differences in the working background because depending on their jobs and their performances and the time duration which they are acquiring in a daily, they are utilizing.
Thank you all for your presentations. As we conclude today's session, I will take a moment to express our deepest gratitude to Dr. Manjunath sir for his contributions and insightful facilitation. His expertise has greatly enriched our discussions. Sir, we would love to hear a few words regarding the presentation.
First of all, congratulations to all paper presenters. And you are coming from various institutions, colleges, and various fields, like some West universities and some Karnataka University, okay. ಮತ್ತೆ ಕೆಲವರು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಕನ್ನಡ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಗ್ರೌಂಡ್ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಇದು ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಯಾರು ಇದು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡಿ. ಸೊ ಯುವರ್ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟೇಷನ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಕ್ಲಾರಿಟಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್, ಮೆಥಡಾಲಜಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಸ್ಯಾಂಪಲ್ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಯಾಂಪಲಿಂಗ್, ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ಸ್, hypothesis, research design, variables, and data collection procedures and tools, and finally major findings and implication of the or application of the research. So these are all major components of any research paper. Okay, so different varieties of concepts present here. So very useful to the various fields like academic, health fields, and so many other psychological related fields. Once again, congratulations to all of you. ಭಾಳ ತುಂಬ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಪೇಪರ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನು ನೀವು ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಇನ್ ಫ್ಯೂಚರ್ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದಾಗಿ ಆಗಬೇಕು.
Thank you, sir. As a token
token of gratitude, we would now like to present Sir with this moment.
Lunch is provided outside